Shabbat Shalom. In this week's Parsha, double header of Nitzavim Vayelech. The word Nitzavim means to stand still, to stand up, be counted, to appreciate. Moshe Rabbeinu says to the Jewish people, after all that has happened to you, Atem Nitzavim, you are still standing. You have survived. Moshe Rabbeinu is talking about the events of the last 40 years, as they're chronicled in the Torah. But he's also talking to each and every one of us, that you have survived and we are still standing here today. It is fascinating that the very first description of the Jewish people, as found outside of the Bible, is in the famous stele or pillar of Merneptah, written by the Pharaoh of Egypt, about 1300 BC, about 3,000 years ago. And there he writes, Israel is desolate, its seed is no more. That's the first mention of the name Israel outside of the Bible. The second mentioning is by Mesha, king of Moab, written about 500 years later. There it's written in the Hebrew dialect, the words, and Israel has perished utterly forever. It's an obituary of the Jewish people, written by a pharaoh and written by the king of Moab. And yet today, there is no pharaoh and there is no country of Moab. We are still standing. Atem Nitzavim, we are still standing. And the question is why? Why haven't the Jewish people assimilated, been lost to history? Why are we the only nation still there, still present, still functioning, still speaking our same language, living in our same land? What is it that has kept us going? And I believe the answer can be found in our tradition. Because what does assimilation mean? Assimilation means that the society I'm living in has a greater moral code, ethic, standard than what I personally have within my own tradition, faith, culture. And therefore I assimilate and give up my personal to embrace this higher standard. But the Jew has never said that. Because the Jew looks at the world around him and he sees the corruption, the failures, that society is not living up to the standards. And what standards are those? The standards that have been set within our own tradition, that are the prophets of Israel spoke about, that the Torah speaks of creating a world that is a better place, that is where one based on ethics and morality, that God is the God of right, not the God of might. That in everything that we do, when we compare the world that we see in front of us to the world envisioned by the prophets, we find that there is a major gap. And so the Jew says that I cannot assimilate into the world because I'm not willing to drop my standards. I need to elevate the world. And therefore everything I'm going to do is going to be in fulfillment of my heritage. Because it is through the eyes of the Jew that the world and the blessing of the Jew will come to the world. For where does the concept of peace come from? Universal education, the rights of the individual, the care for those in need. These are all biblical concepts brought by the Jewish people through the Torah and through the prophets. And until that is being completed, there is what to do. And so the Jew was never willing to assimilate because they felt to assimilate, you need to assimilate into something better. And they always felt that the Jewish culture was better. Atem Nitzavim, says Moshe Rabbeinu, you are standing here today. Think about that fact, that the obituary is written by the pharaohs of the past, the kings of the past, even by the tormentors of the 20th century. They're all gone and we're still here. You have survived, which means that you have what to contribute to the world. So Netzav, stand still, reflect, brace yourself, and Vayelech, and then walk forward, empowered to make the world a better place, because that is what it means to be a Jew. Shabbat Shalom.
Hi, this is Rabbi Lewin. If you've enjoyed the content of the sermons and the ideas that have been expressed in the YouTube video, please hit that subscription button and notification bell, and share the videos with friends. We'd love to grow the channel and love to engage with you. Please share your comments in the section below. I'd love to hear from you. Have an amazing day.